What up, people? Welcome to not another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, but welcome to another edition of Heel Turn, featuring Mike Steph. Topic at hand, my WrestleMania 41 Night 1 thoughts. Being the fact that today is Easter, happy Easter to everyone who celebrates. Happy Holy Day to all. I will try to refrain from being the normal potty mouth that I've been accustomed to being, especially when I have a lot of displeasure toward the topic that I'm going to speak about. Night 1. Okay. I'm going to talk about the positives first. And then I will spew all the negativity that I have in my mind, in my body, and I won't say my soul. The main event. The triple threat main event. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus Cmpunk for the possession of Paul Heyman. If you don't know by now, Seth Rollins left victorious at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins not only left victorious over the match, he is in possession of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman effectively turned his back on Cmpunk first, and his former tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And he at least seems to have joined Seth Rollins. In the lead up, Seth pretty much laid it out, and to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie, he was telling the truth. He told Paul, listen, Roman Reigns left you for dead after WrestleMania last year. Did Roman Reigns come to your rescue when your cousin was terrorizing him? No. Did he pick up the phone when you was calling him for help? No. Matter of fact, he changed his number. And when he came back, did he try to avenge your situation? What they did to you? No. He avenged what Solo did, which was proclaim himself to be the tribal chief. He came back to reclaim his Ulafala. And he expected you to fall in line. That's number one. Number two, Cmpunk. All right. He told you owed him a favor. That's your best friend. And your best friend is telling you owe him a favor, holding you to it. And did the one thing, the favor was the one thing he knew would cause strife to you. And that would be for you to turn your back against the guy that you've been connected with for the last 4.5 years. Did he do it to rescue you? No. Did he help you? Wow, you was having problems with the quote-unquote new bloodline. No. Did he help your war games to help you and Roman and his family? No, he did it for his own self-satisfaction. Me, on the other hand, I could have stomped you twice. I could have put your head into the effing dirt. And I chose not to. Because favors are a choice. So you chose to do the favor that Cmpunk asked, and I'm leaving you with a choice of whether or not you owe me a favor. So that's the backstory. Into the match. The match was great. Into the match, Paul Heyman gets a chair. He gives it to Cmpunk to supposedly use against Roman Reigns, and then he gets in the ring. And I said, oh, shoot. Okay, here we go. It was 33 minutes, by the way. And he goes behind Cmpunk and he gives him the low blow. And Roman Reigns is like, yeah. Now, I had the prediction that Paul Heyman was going to go back to Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is going to win. So, he gives the chair to Roman, and Roman bashes CM Punk unmercifully. And then he turns his attention to Seth Rollins. He said, there he goes. My tribal chief, there he goes. Tribal chief foolishly puts Paul Heyman behind him, and Paul Heyman proceeds to hit him in the nuts as well and give the chair ultimately to Seth Rollins, who uses the chair to once again beat Roman in the back, stab him in the back, well, not even stab him in the back, but do what he's been doing for the last 10 years and walk out victorious. The reason that match almost saved the night for me, the reason that match was so engrossing, because you had years upon years upon years upon years of backstory. You had the backstory with Heyman and Punk. You had the backstory with Roman and Seth. You had the backstory with Roman and Heyman. You had the backstory with Roman and Punk. And you had the backstory, the recent backstory of Seth and Heyman. I'm hearing a lot that this might bleed into night 2. And something that big, on one hand, you would want that to stand on its own. But on the other hand, especially being the fact that how horrific, how terrible the majority of night 1 was, you needed a hook to hold people, or to get people optimistic that night 2 would not be a repeat of night 1. So, will Seth and Heyman rear their head in night 2? You think about it. Is there anything in particular that they're connected to in night 2? Is there? Do you think they're going to be involved in the main event? I mean, if this is somewhat Seth's redemption story, as in, I've been right all along. I was right last year and I saved the day. I was right this year that he's a snake. And Roman, you never learn your lesson. And I'm the architect of all this shit. I helped Cody Rhodes liberate the title from Roman Reigns last year. I was his shield. As I set out, as I proclaimed to be, as I promised to be. And what did he do? What did he do? He tried to help Roman get back his empire? So pretty much all my work was for nothing? I put my pettiness to the side. I put my anger to the side for Cody Rhodes to help him, and this is the payment that I got? I'm just second fiddle? I proved last night I wasn't second fiddle. And now, who do I have by my side? Matter of fact, who do I have behind me? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a bridge too far. But they need something else. There's going to be a turn. There's going to be an action tonight in the main event, and I don't know. At this point in time, I don't expect The Rock to show up. Personally. He should. He's the one that started all this shit. But I would not be surprised if he doesn't show up. For various reasons. Some that which I probably will get to if I decide to make another video. Well, I'll get to in my night 2 review, which will be pretty much like an overview of the whole WrestleMania weekend, which, I'm telling you, they're making it hard to be a fan right now. Very hard. I'll say that for later. Now, for all the negativity. I'm not going to break down match by match, because like I said, I'm trying to wrap this up in another 10 minutes and I'm out of here. See, I don't even got the graphics behind me. I'm just like, look, I just came back from the gym, hanging and banging, brother. At this point in time, why not? Didn't know that because it's Easter Sunday, they closed at 1, so I had to do like a half my normal intake, but still got it done. But neither here nor there. Jey Uso won the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther via tap out. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Jey Uso fan. I was rooting for Jey. I expected Jey to win. But the way he won was very underwhelming. It was like 17 minutes or so. Something seemed off. Something seemed off. I don't know what it was, but something seemed off. It's almost like they did all the celebrating at the very beginning. Even when he was coming down the aisle, coming through the stadium, he seemed oddly subdued. Maybe the nerves, maybe he was trying to portray the seriousness of the situation, and then they ring the bell and it's a lockup. I'm sorry, if you just bloodied the shit out of my brother, and I came to your face and told you I'm going to pray for myself of the things that I'm going to do for you, I'm not going to start with an elbow and collar lockup. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get you. I'm going to bloody you. I'm going to punish you. So the tap out, if it would have came via, I really was busting his behind, and then finally Gunther, as the coward as he is, taps out, not a problem. But it was a wrestling match. Literally, it was a wrestling match for 17 minutes. Yeah, did he use Gunther's moves against him? Yeah, but he powerbombed him, gave him 3 splashes, put a sleeper in, and Gunther tapped in less than 5 seconds. Fine. That's what y'all wanted to do. That's the finish y'all wanted. Fine, whatever. I was even like, what the really? Okay. And then the celebration was also oddly subdued. Like I said, it's almost like they blew their load at the very beginning. Jimmy comes, emotional moment. Tell you the truth, if you would have said a month ago, I would have thought that there would have been a time that, I wouldn't say in the show, but you would have Jimmy as the U.S. champion, Jey as the world champion, and they meet in the ring and they embrace. Jimmy comes down. No ill effects of the bloody beatdown he had 3 weeks ago. Comes and celebrates with his brother. His brother is like in shock, in awe. Didn't even pick up the belt. Jimmy had to be like, yo, here. Yo, this you, Oos? Jay's like, and then they go in the crowd and do a photo op. They had to get this annoying broad from behind them. And that was it. Felt empty. Am I nitpicking? No, I'm not. But this kind of set off the whole vibe of the night. Something just felt off. Something felt off. There's a lot of reasons why it felt off to me, but I'm talking about the product itself felt off at the very beginning. New Day versus the War Raiders. New Day wins the championship. Okay. Good. So we're 2 for 2 with minorities. Yeah. Triple H proving all the doubters wrong. It was a match. New Day had to cheat, but I get it. Heat. All about the heat, baby. You know, all about the heat. Then we had Naomi versus Jade Cargill, which once again had a great backstory. But the match itself was a wrestling match. And Jade won. Which, to me, doesn't make sense. Naomi got her ass beat the majority of the build. So for this to go forward, or for you to string this out, or for this to have a little bit of meat on the bone, Naomi goes over. Naomi cheats. Naomi takes the satisfaction away from Jade. Jade does not get the satisfaction the first time. Now Jade feels away, and now she's like, you know what? I know these two B's, yeah. Naomi and Bianca got something to do with this. You know what? This leads into night 2. Jade cost Bianca the championship. Or Naomi cost Bianca the championship. One or the other. This match bleeds into night 2. The way this happened, match, there was more intensity in the Elimination Chamber than it was in this match. Naomi did a damn good job. Like, at the end of the match, I was actually clapping like, you know what? I don't like the outcome, but salute to Naomi, because Naomi proved herself to be a ring general. And Jade, okay, Jade won. Whoopee. Now, there's a couple of matches that I really didn't care about. El Grande Americano versus Fenix, who is substituting for Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio injured himself the night before at SmackDown, which neither here nor there. First I thought it was a work just to get Fenix on the show, until Fenix lost. And I'm like, okay. So you debut him 2 weeks before WrestleMania. The idea was, I think, not to have him at WrestleMania wrestle. He's a last second substitution, and you have him lose on the grand stage. Your big acquisition, when Dragon Lee was right there. So you wanted the name and the recognition of having Rey Fenix in the WrestleMania spotlight to stick it to Tony Khan and AEW, but you allow the fake luchador who comes out in a mariachi band to beat Fenix, your newly acquired acquisition, on WrestleMania, the day that you announced that you purchased AAA, which is a Lucha Libre company. Gotcha. Okay, whatever. Listen, at this point in time, just lead into it. You know, El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America. It's just par for the course when it came to this week. And like I said, I'm really holding restraint right now from talking about what I really want to talk about. But like I said, we still got another night to go, and I still got another recap to go. So I will save all that venom for later. Then we had Jacob Fatu defeat LA Knight for the US Championship. Enough said. And then last but not least, we have the match for the WWE Women's Championship between the champion Tiffany Stratton and the challenger Charlotte Flair. Everybody knows the backstory. The backstory is Charlotte pretty much has sabotaged this whole build because she feels like she should be the focal point. She's a little jealous of Tiffany, and this is not storyline. They made it into a storyline, but no, this is a shoot, brother. And at least they started out the match with some animosity. Maybe a little bit too much animosity. Because somehow, some way through this match, Tiffany Stratton got some teeth chipped. And she got a bruise on her head. And Charlotte, either two things could be correct, but which one is more likely? Charlotte is a trash wrestler and have no idea what she's doing, and she's been carried for 10 years by the likes of Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, etc., Bayley, etc. Or she was in the field, she knew she wasn't going to win, and she was like, you know what? I'm not putting my best foot forward, and she's going to have to earn this victory. And I'm going to give her some mementos from this match to let her know, like, I mean, she was calling her BITCHs, the whole nine, which, like, can feed into the angle, can feed into the match, but feed into the quote-unquote personal heat between them. But when one woman, the woman that has the spot, ends up bloodied, tooth-chipped, bruised in the face because she ended up victorious, and the veteran looks out of sorts, everything, there was nothing that hit crisply. Even her attire didn't even make sense. Since when does Charlotte wear pink? Since when does Charlotte wear thigh straps? Which was hilarious because her ass is so not there that her tights, her spandex, her stockings, her leggings, her pantyhose look like hammer pants. Back here's a mother effer. It almost looked like she had a panty liner that was loose. The thigh straps did nothing for her long back, her lack of derriere. This match was sloppy. This match went 20 minutes. This match did Tiffany no favors, except for the fact that she proved that, listen, I could take it. And literally, that's what she ended up doing. She ended up taking it. Take that, take that, take that. And yeah. But the whole night was just off. It did not feel like a WrestleMania. At first, I thought maybe because maybe I'm in the mood that I'm in, or maybe things that are on my mind, or maybe things that led up to, the promotion of WrestleMania, or people saying asinine things have just taken me all out the moment, which is possible. But then when I see that I'm along with the majority and not the minority, that this just did not feel like a WrestleMania, at least night one. I was like, you know what? All right, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. I watched Stand and Deliver. The ladder match, dare I say, was probably better than anything on night one sans the main event. The four-way was probably the second thing. Well, probably, if they was on the main roster, probably would have been the third best match. Maybe the second best match after the ladder match. But when you have a World Tag Team Championship match with one team which you haven't capitalized the heat on, and the other team that nobody really cares about, and then the tag team division that you've been spotlighting on, the opposite brand, doesn't even get a match at WrestleMania, and they got a TLC match on SmackDown next week. When you got 2 nights of WrestleMania, something is wrong. Last but not least, and this will be continued for my next edition tomorrow. In the pre-show, Bayley got taken out backstage. So now Lyra has to get a replacement tag team partner to go 2-on-2 against Liv and Raquel. Reports are saying that this was planned and Bayley pretty much was written out of WrestleMania. Now, this comes on the heels of her shoddy treatment last year, leading up to WrestleMania. She won the Royal Rumble. She was the record holder for Marathon Woman of the Royal Rumble. She was an Invisible Woman for 2 months in the lead up. She won the championship and was an Invisible Woman once again until SummerSlam. And now she's put on 2 bangers in the consecutive weeks. She made something out of nothing, and you write her out of WrestleMania like she didn't deserve a spot. Oh my God. Who can the replacement partner be? I wonder. Does it happen to be another Irish lass kicker? Once again, I have no shade against Becky. Tell you the truth, I was just saying, Becky was like, listen, y'all gonna have to find something good for me. This is what y'all find for Becky to come in? Do you not think by replace, if this is the case, if you're replacing Bayley with Becky, as popular as Bayley is, as beloved as Bayley is, both fan-wise and backstage, and you're taking her out, not taking her out of an angle, but you're taking her out of WrestleMania, you think that's doing Becky any favors? Probably not. Anyway, 26 minutes and change. I'm gonna get out of here so I can actually go get home, get refreshed, get ready for night 2, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks to everyone who has joined me, that is tuned in to my channel this week on multiple videos, because I've been cranking them out, baby. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all for making me the video that y'all choose to view. Like I really appreciate y'all. My new subscribers, I appreciate y'all. You know, usually I'm more multifaceted when it comes. I'll talk about politics, I'll talk about wrestling, I'll talk about basketball, I'll talk about baseball. But being the fact that it's WrestleMania season, yeah, you're getting WrestleMania heavy, wrestling heavy. And don't forget, and I haven't forgotten about my WrestleMania memory series. No, that's going to continue until it reaches its fruition to WrestleMania 40. It's going to bleed into May, so be it. I'm going to hold steadfast to that. Plus, I enjoy doing it. But I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for giving me the support. And until tomorrow, hopefully night 2 is way better than night 1. Because night 1 was trash. Pure tea trash. Goodbye.